Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking some time out of today or your busy day to look at a recording of the Hire Logic online community platform. My name is Steve Oxy, and I'm a solutions advisor here with Hire Logic. Speaking with Brandon over the last couple of months, who's very familiar with Hire Logic at this point, and wanted me to do a brief recording of a brief demo again of Hire Logic, so you all on the board for the Wisconsin Park and Rec Association can get a really good idea of who we are. And a specific use case for how you all specifically might be able to leverage an online community. So as far as an agenda today, I'm just going to jump back and forth between a PowerPoint as well as, most importantly, the demo site that built out for you all today, so you can get a brief glimpse into what communities are doing for not only many similar state park and rec associations, but also the National Rec and Park Association as well. And then for you all, painting a picture for what a community might look like. So for those of you who are not familiar with Hire Logic, we were founded in 2007, a bit of an interesting time to start a company, but we've been growing and thriving ever since. Currently, we're supporting about 2,500 various associations and nonprofits, powering close to 300,000 online communities all over the world. We have close to 50 million users of Hire Logic, leveraging our platform in one way, shape, or form. And we've been growing rapidly ever since inception. I've been with the organization since 2015. Was hire number, I think, around 67 or 68. We're currently at about 340 full-time staff and have grown about 200% since I've been here. So it's been an awesome time so far. We've been on the Inc. 5000 list for 5 of the last 6 years in a row. We do have a 98% retention rate of our clients. We build successful communities that members use day in and day out, which of course create happy clients to come back to us year after year. We integrate with most AMS systems out there if you all have one. And then most importantly, we do provide a lot of education, training, support, and strategy alongside the software. A lot of that is having a guided implementation process, a structured sort of day-by-day or week-by-week process to ensure that we launch community systematically, and you have dedicated resources here at Hire Logic to leverage throughout your entire time with us. That's a dedicated project manager. That's a dedicated community manager, a client success manager, to ensure that we're doing everything we can here on our end to make sure that you're not only launching a community, but launching a community that's going to withstand the test of time and drive engagement throughout your entire time with Hire Logic. So in terms of exactly what we do, we focus on better engaging with your members. Yes, we're the best of breed online community platform, but ultimately we're an engagement company. We focus on engaging your members and engaging with your members in ways that make sense for them. We don't force feed engagement, providing multiple avenues of engagement so members engage the way they want to. And that has programs centered around online engagement, volunteering, and helping support your volunteering initiatives, being able to build communities around your local aspects, meaning your in-person events, your annual conferences, tons of programs around education and best practices, as well as a full learning management system within Hire Logic, and then best practices around how we can support your advocacy efforts, how we can build communities around your different committees and councils and boards. And ultimately, we like to call this holistic engagement because it's engaging your members all year round in different avenues that make sense for them. What does this mean? Why do partners and why do organizations work with Hire Logic? Well, obviously we're an engagement company, so we help drive engagement. Beyond that, if you all are ever struggling with member retention, members falling off, Hire Logic is a direct tool to support that and get the ship righted. Our clients average about an 8% increase in retention just after year 1 of working with us. We make your website and your community more searchable on the internet by driving search engine optimization. When someone goes to a Google or a Bing, they're drawn to your website. Maybe those are non-members looking at your website for the first time. And then we can promote these folks and get them to actually join the organization. If there's room for growth and opportunities for growth, we expect you guys to leverage the community with our help as a way to promote membership and grow as well. And then we provide all the data and business intelligence in terms of what is happening within your community. What are the metrics behind your community? Who are your most active members? What's your most popular resource? Who are your inactive members? How can we serve those folks? Giving you guys the metrics and the data, more importantly, to then thereafter make better data-driven decisions. So what we're going to focus on today is mainly what you all see on the left side of the screen, our core solution. I'll quickly touch upon some things on the right side of the screen, but for our purposes today, we're really going to hone in on the things you all see in the gray. So I'm going to go through these individually, and then I'm going to break out of the PowerPoint and actually show you what these tools look like in a live environment. So really what the core of engagement is, what's centered around the means, or what's really provides a central place where members can engage, is discussion groups. It's the center of the graphic on the left there. And ultimately, that's the simple place, but intuitive location within your existing website where members can post questions and start discussions and do so, again, in an intuitive way. The really cool thing is that HireLogic blends what's good about a listserv in terms of the email functionality, but we bring that into the community as well. What that means is that if members have the ability to read and respond to emails, they can actively engage in a HireLogic discussion group. I'll show you what that looks like in a live instance in a few minutes. We also have directories. Directories are simply where members can search for one another. Keep in mind, you guys can build as many communities as you'd like, whether it's for a board of directors, a committee, a project, a grant, different education offerings, whatever it may be. And then inside of each one of these communities, you can have a designated resource library. A resource library is essentially a location where members as well as staff members can upload documents. And these documents can be stored here, filed, categorized, tagged, and labeled so members know where to go when to find specific key documentation or information that they're looking to find. Event calendars, you may have an event calendar within your main website, but the HireLogic event calendars are not going to replace that. The event calendars within HireLogic are built and specified depending on who the user is when he or she logs in. So if I'm Steve, part of the membership committee, and I belong to the membership committee community, I'm going to be seeing events relative to me based on what's going on within that specific group. So I'm going to see things on my calendar that make sense for me and that I might be interested in, as opposed to maybe, Brandon, he's on the executive committee. He's going to be seeing events relative to him on his calendar based on the fact that he belongs to that specific community for the executive committee. So really personalizing that event calendar experience from the get-go. We support blogging if you guys want to do anything with blogging. Think about a wiki glossary as a digital textbook for keyword terms. You don't have to worry about anything being mobile friendly with HireLogic. Everything is 100% responsive design right out of the box, so it works with any smartphone, any device, anywhere, anytime. Gamification is built into the platform as well. Gamification may look like engagement points, rewarding members with engagement points on their profile so they're recognized when they do different things throughout the community. Maybe it's a digital badge or ribbon for when they attend your annual meeting or for when they earn their certification or attend this webinar. Maybe it's the most active members board to promote your champion members as well as motivate other members to do things as well. Beyond all these wonderful tools, we have analytics and data, which I already talked about. And the most important thing, and ultimately the glue that holds our entire platform together, is what you all see in the top left part of the screen, which is the automation rules. The automation rules are essentially our own native marketing automation system built into the back end of HireLogic. They operate on the mentality of being able to send the right message to the right member at the right time, depending on who that member is and the things they either have or have not done within the community. This is all workflow automation coming in the form of emails going directly to members, seemingly coming from somebody on your staff. A lot of our most successful clients leverage these automation rules to automate the process behind once manual campaigns. One of those most popular campaigns are to automate the process behind onboarding new members, either when members join the organization for the first time or for when we roll out the community initially. How do we get members to actively log in and use it? Well, the automation rules are set up to send the right message to the right member at the right time, so new members might get a message like, hey, new member, welcome to the organization or welcome to the community. Here are your list of benefits. Here's one of your most popular benefits being your exclusive online member community. Log in and introduce yourself to your peers for the first time. Let's say that new member hasn't logged in over 3 or 4 or 5 day span, whatever it may be. We'll send them another message, maybe coming from Brandon this time, saying, hey, new member, still notice you haven't taken advantage of this awesome benefit. Log in, look at this conversation going on. We'd love for you to contribute. So then that new member logs in for the first time, introduces him or herself to the community, and now they've taken that initial step. A day later, they get another message, maybe from the community manager this time, saying, hey, new member, great post. Thank you so much for contributing. But hey, we noticed you didn't upload your profile picture in HireLogic, into the community. Did you know that you were 33% more likely to receive a response to your post if you had a profile picture? So then the member logs in again and does that next step. So the idea is that we're going to work a member really up a commitment curve, which I'll show you on the screen right now, up this commitment curve to get them to do more complex things within the community over time. And that's just one instance of the automation rules. We give you about 150 of these automation campaigns built into the back end, and you can turn them on and turn them off as much or as little as you see fit. We'll coach and train you on these. The idea is that we can automate much of the process that is necessary to have a successful community. You can even set up these campaigns around dues renewals, letting folks know when their dues are set to expire, letting people know when registration for a webinar or an event opens, letting people know when they haven't been in the community in a while, they come back in and log in. The idea is that we're actually going to limit the amount of emails that members get, but when they do get emails, it makes sense to them. You guys don't have to worry about manually reaching out to members. The system, the platform essentially is doing the work for you. So taking a step back here, We go back to actually the feature slide. I'm just going to go through these additional features really quickly, and then I'm going to break out into the demo environment. So some of my most successful and most popular add-on modules will be our mentor match system, which puts a complete mentoring platform in place so mentors and mentees can find each other. We have a volunteer management system, a learning management system, the ability to host your main website through our content manager. We have an event management system, and many other additional tools that you guys can take on later on with the idea of being able to drive engagement around different things you might be doing and then giving you additional tools to help manage that. So ultimately, now I'm going to break out into the demo environment, so give me one moment. And now you all should clearly be seeing WPRA's main website on your page. And now you should be seeing a community specifically built for WPRA in terms of this is a community that I built out earlier today. And keep in mind, I really am not a technical guru. I was a hospitality major in college, so my technical skills are pretty lean, but keeping that in mind, this only took me about 10 to 15 minutes, this entire site to build out earlier today. So your community might actually look entirely different from this. Everything you all see on the screen now is completely configurable and customizable based on what you would want your community to look like. So the colors, the logo, the name of the community, the navigation, the sub-navigation. As we continue down, all these boxes and widgets can all be configured and moved around and sort of tweaked based on what your community might look like from your perspective. So the first thing to notice is that I'm already logged in as Steve the member here in the top right corner. And the key to really creating a quality community experience for members is making relative and interesting content easily accessible to me right from the get-go. So you'll be seeing a latest discussions feed here. This is the latest discussions happening in the communities in which I subscribe to and I belong to. So in this instance, I'm seeing all these great conversations going on in the open forum, but if I belong to the executive committee or the board of directors community, I would be seeing the conversations from those groups because those groups I'm part of. I want to see what's going on there. If you make members dig and force them to find content on their own, chances are they're not going to. They're going to get discouraged. They're not going to log in again. So we really do a phenomenal job of providing interesting, relative, and dynamic content to members right when they log in. As we continue down this main homepage here, we might promote a member of the month. And inherently, we want to make it very, very easy for members to do basic things within their communities. So you see these big action buttons here for setting up a profile, maybe for the first time, starting a discussion post, sharing a document or file to the resource library, connecting with my peers. Say I met Brandon at our annual meeting last week, but we didn't exchange business cards. Well, I can go search for Brandon in my Connect with Your Peers button, which will route you to the directory. We actually can search for Brandon, connect with him, send him messages offline, and continue that networking conversation they had in person. HireLogic has the ability to pull in your different Twitter or your different Facebook pages. Being able to leverage your existing social media footprint is key. We can promote the community within these different outlets, but ultimately create that one-stop shop for anything social. We can promote your annual meeting, and if you're leveraging HireLogic's event manager, you can actually create this meeting within our platform and allow members to register for these events. You can promote your different programs you offer, bring in different videos and different dynamic content. You'll see a list of upcoming events here, specifically for me. Member benefits, here's some of that gamification down here for our most active members, and you can see they've accumulated engagement points. I used to be on this list, actually. I went on vacation for a week, so I actually wasn't active for a while, and in essence, I was taken off this list, and that has motivated me to do more meetings. And you can imagine if any of your members are naturally competitive, this is a great way to hone in on that competitiveness and get folks to do things if they're not on this list, but again, also promote your champion members. So if we dive into the community specifically, you guys will be able to build as many communities as you'd like. You get unlimited communities and unlimited members in each of these communities. We don't expect we don't charge our clients for when they grow. We expect you to grow. It's a scalable platform, right? So again, you guys can build as many communities, maybe one for an open forum where all members can come, maybe one for your annual meeting, a board of directors, a committee, a chapter, whatever it may be. Each one of these communities can have their own individualized security setting around them as well. So an open forum can be truly open, a general place where all members can come to talk about general topics. You can also have private communities. Say the board of directors community was a private community, and in reality it probably should and would be. The board of directors community would only be accessible to those who were on the board of directors. If I was not serving on the board of directors, I would not be able to access the community, and better yet, I wouldn't even know this community existed. So that's a private community. You can also have a semi-private community, which can have a varying level of security, meaning that if I try to join this community, I wouldn't be allowed into this community until someone on your staff either rejected or approved my entry. So that's a semi-private community. As an example, I'm going to dive into the open forum for today's purposes. And then this looks somewhat similar to the main homepage, but again, a community just for this group of people, where you're seeing the latest discussions, you're seeing the latest shared files. It's really, really easy to upload a file. All I literally have to do is click upload file. In this tool here that has popped up, I can drag and drop files from my laptop or my desktop. I can choose files from my computer. All these different resources here. I can record a video, take a picture, drag from my Gmail account, my OneDrive account, my Amazon Cloud, whatever I want. It's really easy. Literally takes 2 or 3 clicks to upload one document. You'll see a community vCard here. If I download a community vCard for the open forum, this creates a unique email address that I can then save to whatever email tenant I use, so I can easily start new conversations directly from my email inbox without logging in. Really cool thing is that I don't have to be logged in to engage within this community. You'll see that Brandon here started a post about 20 minutes ago all around grants and this new program that NRPA was promoting, and he started a discussion post. As a member, I can do a few things within this interface, but more importantly, I don't have to, again, be logged in to see what's going on. I know many of you are members of the National Association, so you may get daily or weekly or a real-time digest for when conversations go on. So as you can see in this instance, I'm subscribed to a real-time digest for the open forum, and I can see that Brandon started this conversation. I can see the exact same post that was in the website, but all I have to do to actively engage and actually respond to Brandon's post is hit reply here within Outlook. Open up my reply, say thanks for, if I can spell today, sharing, hit send, and in about 5 to 10 seconds, that reply from email will populate perfectly underneath Brandon's original post as if I was logged in. When I'm logged in, I can do more things with this, obviously. I can like this post. Once I like it, I can see other members that have liked it. I can promote this post, pin this post. I can also mark this as inappropriate. You may be wondering about moderation. Well, members have the ability to actually moderate different posts themselves. If I thought Brandon's post was very inappropriate, I could actually mark this as inappropriate, and then this post will be taken down in real time and then sent to a moderation queue where someone on your staff can decide whether to keep it up or take it down. You can also, on a side note, put members specifically on moderation and full communities on moderation. If I want to reply to this discussion right within this interface, I have the ability to do so. This opens up a post to reply. I could say great article or great post at Brandon. So we actually have at mentioned similar to Twitter, which is an additional layer so folks, when they're mentioned in conversations, can get emails about that and know that they've been mentioned in the comment. If we go back to this thread overall, you'll see that my reply from email is populated there perfectly, as well as my reply from the interface. So again, really easy to have members know what's going on and actively engage within content. Every conversation, whether it's happening within the community or from an email inbox, is stored and archived within its respective community. So you can see all the conversations that have gone on within this specific community. And you see that this post here has a paperclip associated with it. What does that mean? Well, that means that somebody has uploaded a document with their discussion post. So you can see that Liam uploaded a picture about a month and a half ago that I can now download for myself. I can add comments about it. I can manually tag and add keywords. I can see the metrics behind this specific post. And the cool thing is that say Liam didn't upload a picture. Say he uploaded a Word document or a PDF or a PowerPoint or some sort of document that had content inside of it. Our system is smart enough to look inside of each document and automatically pull keywords. But obviously, as I mentioned, you can also tag and manually tag and add keywords, which of course the end goal is driving searchability. So that if someone goes in the search bar and types in something relative, they'll find that document they're looking for. If you want to see all the documents that have been uploaded to the library, all you have to do is hit back to library or navigate to the library tab. And you can see in a folder view or a list view all the documents that have been uploaded again to the open forum. We can see all the documents here on the right, and we can segment these with as many folders and subfolders as you'd like as well. A good use case would be if this is a board of directors community, this is where you can store meeting minutes, where you can have meeting minutes from 2016, meeting minutes from Q4 of 2016, and maybe December of 2016, whatever it may be. The options are limitless there. Every one of your members is going to get their own social profile. They're meant to have a stamp and a voice and be recognized in the overarching community. where members can upload fun things like their profile picture. They can manually update all their demographics. They can automatically update their demographics by syncing up their LinkedIn profile. We can do fun things with gamification, like giving them ribbons and badges for contributing to the community. Maybe they're on a committee or a chapter president. We give them a ribbon for that. They can update their contact information. You can also gamify what they do within the community. You can summarize through a graph here and through engagement points, what is Steve doing within the community? Well, you can see the breakdown of where he spends his time. You can see his engagement points he's accumulated. You can also see how much more Steve needs to do to get his next achievement. You can also give Steve different badges and ribbons for his achievements within the industry. Maybe he has his CAE. Maybe he has some sort of accreditation. Maybe he's volunteered. This is a way to recognize him within the community. You guys can use our badges or your own badges. This is another additional layer so you can recognize Steve as a champion member. It's also a good way to validate members. Say Steve answered my post. I'm another member. Say he answered my question. I go look at Steve's profile. I see all these different achievements and these badges and ribbons and his title and all about him. That helps validate Steve. That makes me know as that other member that, hey, he knows what he's talking about. He answered that question in a good way for me. You can also see who my connections are in terms of who my contacts are, essentially my approved friends within the community. I could send these folks messages or remove them as contacts. I could see who else serves on my committee. You can also see who fits into my network. So taking buckets of people who fit into similar demographics, and I can recognize whether these folks are connections of mine. I can see who has similar certifications to me, job history, titles, programs. I can even see who went to the same school and see if we're connected. We jump over the directory. How do folks actually search and find one another? Well, maybe I know, this person I'm looking for by first name, last name, but maybe I'm just trying to expand my network. So I can go to an advanced search capability and actually look for folks who are in the same community as me, have similar certifications, have similar interests, and you guys can decide what these fields actually say. But say I want to find folks who maybe live near me in my immediate area. Our zip code here in Roslyn, Virginia is 22209. And I want to find folks who live within 25 miles of me. So I hit enter. And this is where I can actually see through an embedded Google map where folks live near me here in the greater Washington, D.C. area. So that's really cool. Again, we do have programs around volunteering and mentoring, which we can grab into in a later date. But just to show you some live sites, obviously you all are probably familiar with NRPA and their community called Connect. Might also be familiar with the Illinois Park and Rec Association. This is their community, again, called Connect. We also work with the Florida Recreation and Park Association, called eConnect, and the California Park and Recreation Society. But ultimately, that is everything I wanted to show you all today. If you have any questions, I'm going to pull up my email address really quickly. Brandon also has my information if you guys need anything, but if you guys would like to email me or have questions specifically, my email address is soxee, S-O-X-E-E, @higherlogic.com. I really do appreciate you all spending some time to listen to a recording of a demo of the Higher Logic platform, and I definitely appreciate that and the possibility of working with you all in the future. Thank you very much.